Well, folks, the NBA Finals is almost here. And it's time for me to give my prediction and break down what I think gonna happen in this series. Because on paper, this is gonna be a dandy, folks. Best offense against best defense. This is gonna be a special series. Let's break it down though. Let's break it down. Let's start with the obvious, the two stars of the team. Hal Burton against SGA. The 25-year-old Hal Burton against the 26-year-old SGA. Hal Burton, some folks think should be the face of the league. On the other side, you got SGA, the MVP, and the guy who's probably the face of the league. Man, it's going to be one for the ages, folks, because both teams are similar. They're well balanced. They're well balanced. They have the perfect supporting cast around them. Not only that, everyone on the team is two-way players. Not many teams in the NBA have a team full of two-way players. That's what makes these two teams special, in my opinion. Like, let's go to coaching for a second, though. You got Rick Carlisle against Mark, Coach of the Year, if I'm not mistaken. Man, Rick Carlisle done been there and done that. He won a championship in 2011, and if it don't have the fight at the Palace, the Malice at the Palace, I think the Pacers go win that championship that year. Reggie Miller was at the end of his career. Them boys was playing ball. They were nice, you know? Rick Carlisle is a defensive-minded coach. He know how to make adjustments. You feel me? He played basketball. This guy is a good coach, very underrated coach. When you look at Mark, folks don't really know much about Mark like that, you know? He been with the team for a minute, got promoted to head coach. This NBA Finals gonna tell a lot about him because he ain't gonna just be able to put the ball in SGA hand and tell him bring me home like I feel they did in the past two series. It just was bad matchups. This series here, we're gonna learn a lot. We're gonna see if Mark is a good coach or just a guy who's on the team coaching a good team, you know? Because they got a lot of good teams that got bad coaches, you know? We're going to learn a lot about the coaching in this one. Let's get back to Hal Burton and SGA. SGA is unguardable at times. I do say sometimes, you know, you can beat the Thunder if you force SGA to shoot the three ball. He done shown that he can shoot it, but he not consistent with shooting that three ball. I think the game plan gonna be to sag off of him. Take the mid-range away. That should be your number one option. If you're the Pacers, take SGA mid-range game away. Defend him there without fouling. Another telling stat that gonna tell the series how the refs ref the series, because they be letting SGA do a lot of things. They let him get away with a lot of things, and as soon as your hat on your arm touch him, they be blowing the whistle. You know, SGA be getting to the line like 8, 9, 10 times a game. That's ridiculous. Ain't nobody want to see nobody shoot free throws all game, man. They let him get away with too much stuff. They don't be wanting you to touch him. And that's not right. Because other teams, you know, they are paid to play defense too. It ain't just about the offense. You know what I'm saying? So we're going to see how the refs ref this one. But when you look at SGA, the boy is mainly unstoppable, you know? He giving you 6, 7 assists a game. He picks his time when he go get you a lot of rebounds. He could do it all, and he a good defender. It's gonna be hard to stop him. I ain't even gonna lie to you because the Pacers played twice in the regular season. Man, SGA almost put up 49 points, man. He almost averaged 49 in the 2 games. That's crazy. You know what I'm saying? If that repeat itself, OKC gonna win the championship, man. And probably 5 games, maybe in the sweep. And them 2 games that they played, Chet Holmgren didn't even play. OKC Thunder still won. Halliburton, he was awful. He was awful in both games. I think he had like 11 points in one and maybe 8 in the next one. Like, he was off his game in that one, man. You know, he can't get bottled up by OKC defense. OKC like the blitz. Can't handle the blitz. It's over for him. Straight up. You got to be able to handle the blitz. They first 6, 7 guys on their roster could defend. You got Alex Caruso, one of the best defenders in the league. SGA, one of the best defenders in the league. Jalen Williams, one of the best defenders in the league. You got to call it for what it is. Jalen Williams, he can't afford to be inconsistent. The Pacers are deep. They are deep, you know. What made OKC so unstoppable on this run been their depth and their outstanding defense, along with SGA doing what he do, getting help from the refs and all that. They facing a team that got equal depth. It's going to be one of the ones. Pascal Siakam, y'all seen what he did. That boy averaged about 28 points in the last series. He done been there and done that, man. He done been there and done that. He went up against Draymond Green. Man, homie ready, man. Jalen Williams a good player, but Pascal Siakam gonna handle his business, man. Pascal Siakam knocking down the 3 ball. He getting to the line, he passing, he shooting his fadey. When he got a smaller guy on him, he just turning going to the goal. He plays smart, quick to the point, no BSing. Let's get it. Pascal Siakam, one of my favorite players in the league, man. He don't get enough credit. He cold with it. Jalen Williams gonna have his hand full with him. But you know what I really think gonna be, a key telling stat in this one? Look, it's the bigs. Hardenstein and Chet Holmgren outplayed Minnesota bigs. You see in this one here? I don't think that gonna happen because Miles Turner is a good defender, and he can move his feet. He can switch. Chet Holmgren ain't gonna be able to do what he did like he balled out last game. Turner gonna be on that. Turner averaging 3 blocks a game. That boy coming to play ball, man. He the oldest guy on the team. He know he may not get to the finals again. He coming to play ball. If Turner could neutralize Chet Holmgren, the Pacers gonna have a pretty good chance of winning this series. Because when you look at Hardenstein, Hardenstein a nice player, but he gonna have to play ball in this one. I feel he ain't really had to work in the last series. Y'all seen what Thomas Bryant did? He can step out and hit that 3 ball coming in off the bench. He gonna have to play ball. And if Turner don't get in foul trouble, gonna be a problem for the Thunder, man. When you look at Nembhard, one of the best defenders in the league. I believe they're going to throw him on SGA. If he can stay out of foul trouble, Pacers going to have a good chance to win, folks. Because almost every player, I'm going to say the backcourt and the small forwards for sure, they all can pass, dribble, and shoot. The Thunder didn't have to play players like that in the first 2 series. They played guys were good at one skill. It's going to be different in this one. Nembhard could put the ball down. He got a mid-range game he could shoot. Nesmith is the same way. We're going to see how he look with his ankle. But if that ankle can hold up, man, they could start Nimhard on him and in the second half rotate Neesmith on him. You know? If Nimhard having trouble, you can go back to Neesmith. You know? If he giving both of them problems, rotate Pascal Siakam on him. The Pacers have the players to pull this monumental upset. No one is picking the Pacers to win this series. The Pacers have the complete team. They also have the coaching advantage in this one. And they got a guy in Tyrese Haliburton, man, who he be getting unnecessary disrespect. That young boy ready, man. And if he could offset what SGA gonna do, the Pacers gonna have a good chance to win this series, man. When you look at OKC, 68 wins they won. And the Pacers 50 games they won. And none of that matters. We even. It's the first one to 4 wins. And it's going to be a good one. Pace going to be a big part in this series. The Thunder, you know, they can play both ways. But, man, they like to slow it down, make the right read. Pacers, they like to run. If they can control the pace, get turnovers, Pacers got a chance to win this series. Turnovers going to be key in this series. The Thunder were number 1 and not turning the ball over. That's crazy, right? But when you look at on the other side, the Pacers were number 2 and not turning the ball over. This is going to be one of them ones. The Pacers are 3rd in pace. True shooting as a team, they're number 1. You know, they get 18 opportunities in transition off of turnovers. It's a big part of their game, you know? The Pacers could somehow make SGA uncomfortable. Make him think about it before he go to that mid-range spot. You know, he was just getting there, elevating, doing what he wanted. It was easy, man. It looked like Minnesota was trying, but they were getting cooked, man. It ain't going down in this series. You feel me? This is going to be one of the ones. When you look at OKC, they 2nd in pace. Assists per game, they 3rd. They right there. They 4th in blocks of 5.6 a game. And they 1st in deflections with 20.6. OKC is a great defensive team, too. Something got to give, though, man. Real talk. OKC get 11 steals a game. Them boys ferocious, man. Pacers got to not turn that ball over. Because if they turn that ball over, it's over. They're too good. I expect a fun and exciting series, though. Can TJ McConnell come off the bench and show why he's a top 3 point guard coming off the bench? Backup, you know? Him, Mathurin, Obi Toppin. The role player is going to be key in this one. The Thunder have some nice role players too. And Wallace, Joe, Williams, Dort. But I think the Indiana Pacers role players are better. That's just my personal opinion. When you look at this matchup, what's going to be key, I'm going to be paying attention to, is who Tyrese Haliburton is guarding. Because no way he's going to guard SGA. I think they're going to probably slide him on Dort. You know, Dort bigger than him, but all Dort really do is shoot the 3. But that might lock up Burton. You know, we seen Dort lock up Ant. Haliburton smaller. But Haliburton got the speed advantage on Dort. It's going to be one of them ones. We're going to prevail. Dort, great defense, or tell Haliburton IQ of the game and speed. Man, it's going to be one of them ones. The Pacers have to make SGA a facilitator. They have to make him a facilitator and not a scorer. Force the Thunder players to knock down shots. Yeah, they might get hot for a game, maybe 2, but they got to do it 4 times to win. And I think the Pacers are a good enough team to where they're going to make the adjustments. They're going to make SG a facilitator, and the Pacers going to find a way to win this championship. Because when you look at it, nobody picking the Pacers to win this. They ain't even giving them a chance. I'm hearing sweeps. So disrespectful. When you look at the Thunder, they young. Chet 22, Williams, he younger than SGA. Man, them boys young. They gonna be back multiple times. The Pacers gotta seize this opportunity because opportunities like this don't come often, you know? I think Tyrese Halliburton, he a star, a very good star right now. I think he gonna become a superstar after this one, folks. And Pascal Siakam gonna remind the world why he already had a championship and was a main part of getting that championship with the Raptors. That wasn't just about Kawhi. Pascal Siakam was a main part of that. I see y'all on the next one.